love this sound. The rain, I mean. There's something about it that just makes everything else go quiet, you know? Hey, when's the last time you actually stopped? And I don't mean sleep. I mean stopped. Like, fully. Where your brain isn't running through the list of everything you haven't done yet. Because I watch you, you know? I see it. You sit down and your eyes go somewhere else. Like you're here, but you're not really here. You're already thinking about tomorrow. Or last week. Or some version of yourself that's somehow doing all of this better. And I get it. I do. But you're so tired. And it's not the kind of tired that a good night's sleep fixes. It's that deep tired, you know? The one that kind of lives in your chest. Where even the things you used to enjoy feel like tasks. Can I tell you something? Somewhere along the way, someone convinced you that rest is something you earn. Like you have to hit some invisible finish line before you're allowed to just sit. And you believed them. You took that and you ran with it, and now you feel guilty for breathing? That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Your body isn't a machine with quotas. You're a person. And people need to stop sometimes, you know? Not to recharge so they can be productive again. Just to stop. Because stopping is allowed. It was always allowed. So here's what I need you to hear. You're allowed to rest. Not because you earned it. Not because you'll be more productive after. Just because you're tired. That's enough of a reason. No? It was always enough. You don't have to do anything right now. Not a single thing. I mean that. Just be here with me. And I'm not going anywhere. I never was.
You know what I was thinking about? That thing you said last week at dinner. You kind of threw it out there like it was nothing, but you said everyone's got it figured out except you. And then you laughed, like it was a joke. But it wasn't, was it? I've been watching you do this thing, man. And I say this because I love you, all right? You scroll through everyone else's highlight reel, the promotions, the engagements, the vacations, whatever, and then you look at your own life, like behind the scenes, the messy, unedited version, and you wonder what went wrong. With that, you're comparing your chapter 3 to their chapter 12. That's not even the same book. You know that, right? And okay, even the people who look like they've got it together, half of them are winging it. Seriously, the 5-year plan? That's fiction, man. It's a story people tell at dinner parties, so nobody asks follow-up questions. The people who are actually doing well, like genuinely well, most of them got there by accident. By saying yes to something that wasn't even on the plan. There's no schedule for this stuff. Nobody handed you a checklist at 18 and said complete by 30, or you're a failure. Society kind of puts it in the water or something. But it's not real. It was never real. Not behind, and I mean that. You literally cannot be behind in something that doesn't have a track. You're just where you are. That's more than enough. It's more than enough. Anyway, I'm not going anywhere. But for real though, you're good, man. You've always been good.
Man, this is a good spot. Look at that. Yeah. So, you still doing that thing where you lie awake at like 2 a.m. staring at the ceiling because you don't have a plan? Yeah, I figured. Look, I'm not going to lecture you or anything, but I've been where you are. That place where everyone around you has this certainty. Or at least they act like they do, you know? They've got the job, the trajectory, by 35, I'll have whatever. And you're just standing there at every family dinner, every reunion, every casual, so what are you up to these days thinking? I have no idea. And it feels like a confession. Like admitting you don't know is admitting you failed somehow. But here's the thing, and I mean, I really need you to hear this. Most of them are making it up. Seriously, the 5-year plan is just, it's a bedtime story adults tell themselves. It's comforting, sure, but it's fiction. I had a plan at 25. I was going to do the whole thing. The career, the apartment, all of it by 28. You know where I was at 28? Sleeping on a couch, dude. Different city, different everything. And somehow that led to here, to this, to being okay. Not knowing isn't failure. I think it's actually kind of honest, you know? It means you haven't shut yourself off to something that hasn't shown up yet. Certainty is comfortable, I get that. But curiosity is what actually moves you forward. And you can't be curious if you've already decided what the answer is. And look at that. You know what's on the other side of that horizon? Neither do I. That's kind of the whole point though, right? We'll figure it out. Or we won't. And honestly, either way, the view's pretty good from here.
I'm not going to tell you it gets better. Not because it doesn't, but because that's not what you need to hear right now. And I'm not going to insult you by pretending I know exactly what you're feeling. Because I don't. Not exactly. Nobody does. But I know heavy. I know what it's like to wake up and feel the weight before your eyes are even open. Where just existing takes effort. And people keep telling you how strong you are. And part of you wants to scream. Because being strong is exhausting. Being strong means nobody asks if you're okay because they assume you've got it handled. You don't have to be strong right now. Not here. Not with me. You know what I actually see when I look at you? I see someone who woke up today. And I know that sounds simple. Like congratulations. You opened your eyes. But it isn't simple. Not for you. Not right now. You got out of bed. Or maybe you didn't, and that's fine too. You're breathing. You're here. Don't you dare call that nothing. The world measures everything in outputs. What did you produce? What did you achieve? What can you show for it? But some days the achievement is just getting through. And that's not a small thing. That is the thing. Listen to me. You don't owe anyone your recovery story. You don't owe anyone a timeline. And you certainly don't owe anyone a smile before you're ready to give one. Heal at whatever speed your body decides. Not theirs, not the internet's, not anyone's, to do anything. Just know that someone's here. And someone sees you. Not the version you perform for everyone else. You, the real one. That one's enough.
You know what I've learned about hammocks? You can't rush in one. You try to rush and you'll fall right out. Took me about 3 tries to learn that one. Kinda like life, I suppose. But then, well, nobody wants to hear an old man make hammock metaphors, so. But I've been listening to you, you know, and you keep saying this word. When? When I get that promotion? When I figure myself out? When I finally get in shape, or get the relationship right, or whatever it is this week? You talk about yourself like you're a rough draft. Like the real you is coming eventually, and this version is just filling space until they show up. Now, I want you to think about something. What if I told you there is no final version? What if the person lying in that hammock right now, with all their doubts and their scars and their unfinished business and their I don't know what I'm doing, what if that's it? What if that's the whole thing? And I don't mean that in a depressing way. I mean it in a free way. You're not the before photo. You never were. You're a whole person. Right now. Today. Incomplete? Sure. But show me someone who isn't. So, take that for what it's worth. Stop auditioning for your own life. That's what I want to tell you. Stop treating today like it's a dress rehearsal for some future where you finally made it. You're allowed to enjoy this afternoon. You're allowed to laugh before everything's fixed. You're allowed to be a work in progress and still be whole. Those things aren't opposites, you know? They never were. The breeze is nice today, isn't it? Yeah. The breeze is nice. You're here. And that is enough.
Beautiful out there, really is. You've been replaying it again, haven't you? I can tell. You get this look, this faraway thing, and I know you're not looking at the fields. You're back there, running through it. What you should have done. What you could have said. Every fork in the road where you went left instead of right. And I get it. I do that too, you know. Or I used to. Spent years doing it, actually. Going over and over the same moments, thinking, if only I'd known, if only I'd been smarter, braver, something. But here's the thing, and it took me way too long to figure this out. You're judging past you with information they didn't have. That's not fair. Deep down, that's not fair to them. That person, the one who made that decision you keep punishing yourself for. They were tired. They were scared. They had half the information and twice the pressure. And everyone was looking at them. And they had to make a call. And they did. Maybe it wasn't the perfect call. Maybe looking back now, with everything you know, you can see a better path. But they couldn't see it. It didn't exist for them yet. You didn't fail. You navigated something impossible with what you had at the time. That's not weakness. That's just human. That's what being a person in the middle of something looks like. Hindsight isn't clarity, you know. I really believe that. It's cruelty, dressed up as wisdom. And you've been letting it beat you up for way too long. forgive that version of yourself. They did everything they could. And they got you here, to this seat, to this moment. That deserves respect, not punishment. You can't go back to those stations. The train only moves forward. But you can stop carrying the ticket stubs. Let them go.